Jerusalem, midnight. Torches flickered in the temple. A handful of men moved in silence, poles of gold gripped in their hands. Before them stood the holiest object in Israel. Inside it were the words, "Thou shalt not steal." And yet they lifted it, waited for fire, for wrath, for death. But nothing came. By dawn, they were gone, stolen into the desert, and history fell silent. That night the words of God were stolen, the Ark of the Covenant, the chest of His law, was spirited away, and for 30 centuries no record ever spoke of it again. Scripture calls the Ark no ordinary chest, a box of acacia wood overlaid with gold, crowned with winged cherubim. Inside were the tablets of Moses, the original 10 Commandments. Wherever it went, walls collapsed, armies fell, and those who touched it without reverence fell dead where they stood. For centuries it was kept at the heart of Solomon's temple, until it slowly faded from the record, and eventually the scriptures fell silent. After Solomon, the Ark is mentioned less and less. By the time of the prophet Jeremiah, it is already described as something that will no longer be spoken of. When the Babylonians destroyed the first temple in 587 BC, they carried off its treasures, along with captives. The Bible records this. The Babylonian chronicles list the loot in detail, but not the Ark. The holiest object in Israel's history, absent without explanation. Some say it was hidden beneath the Temple Mount, some say it was melted down for gold. But in Ethiopia, they tell another story. Centuries later, the claims were set down in writing, in the Kebra Nagast. It tells how the Queen of Sheba bore Solomon a son, Menelik. Solomon sent Menelik home to his mother with the firstborn sons of Israel's nobles and priests, a royal entourage meant to establish a Solomonic line in Ethiopia. One of them, Azarias, the high priest's son, crept into the temple at night. He took the Ark for himself. By the time Solomon discovered the theft, the caravan was gone. By all logic, their crime should have cursed them. The 8th commandment inside reads, "Thou shalt not steal." But no fire fell, no wrath struck them down. The caravan moved untroubled across the desert. They thought that silence meant only one thing. God had allowed it. For centuries it stayed in Ethiopia, in Axum. When enemies threatened, it was hidden on an island in Lake Tana, where it remained for 400 years, guarded and unseen. After Emperor Azana's conversion to Christianity, the Ark was brought back to Axum, to the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion, where every Ethiopian ruler would be crowned in its presence. If this was only a story, it would live in books. Instead, a chapel was built to contain it. In the mid-20th century, priests reported something strange, an unseen heat, a force so strong it cracked the stones of the old sanctuary. Emperor Haile Selassie ordered a new chamber built. His wife, Empress Menenasfor, paid for it herself. The Temple of the Tablet was finished in the 1960s, and the Ark was quietly moved in. But as it entered the temple, so did a man, the Guardian. From that day forward, no one else was allowed inside, not even Ethiopia's emperors, not even the Patriarch of the Church. The Guardian accepts the role, knowing exactly what it means. He walks through the gates once and never steps outside again. He never sees his family. He never walks beyond the walls. He never leaves until death carries him out. He prays in solitude, unseen by the world, for the rest of his life. When he dies, the ark does not move. Instead, another monk is chosen. He enters, the door closes, and the vigil begins again. This has been their practice for many centuries, an unbroken chain of guardians, each one living and dying beside the ark, each one surrendering his life to keep it secret. Even the highest church officials admit they've never seen inside. Patriarch Abuna Paulas once said, "It's no claim, it's the truth. The ark has been in Ethiopia ever since." And when pressed for more details, he added, "Can you believe that even I'm forbidden from seeing it?" One guardian is rumoured to have broken his silence at the end of his life. He said only this: "It's the exact shape given in the Bible. It shines with enormous strength." Across Ethiopia, every church keeps a tablet, a replica of the Ark's tablets. During Timkat, priests carry them through the streets, hidden beneath silk cloths as drums and horns echo. The festival is so central, it's recognized by UNESCO. But in Axum, the true Ark never leaves its chapel. The people say its power is too dangerous to expose. So one man lives and dies in its presence, unseen, unknown, and replaced only in death. If the Ark was harmless, it would be on display. Instead, people died protecting it. In November 2020, the War of Tigray reached Axum. Eritrean soldiers crossed the border to join the fight, pushing south towards the ancient city. Among the people, a rumour spread. They had come for the Ark. The townsfolk had no weapons, no armour, no training, but they stayed. The fighting spilled through the narrow streets, soldiers against civilians, rifles against empty hands. They gathered around the Mary of Zion church, praying, shouting, trying to hold the line with nothing but their bodies. For 2 days, gunfire echoed through Axum, and when it stopped, the ground around the church was silent, covered in those who had stood there. Yet the chapel itself was never opened. The guardian monk never left his post, and the Ark was still hidden inside. The Ark was said to make armies unstoppable. Whoever carried it could not be overcome. In Axum the people fell, but the Ark endured. The soldiers reached the chapel door and stopped. No command, no reason, just stopped. The door was never breached, the guardian never stepped outside. No one can explain why trained men, armed and unopposed, halted at the threshold of a silent chapel. But that's what they did. Every one of them, and afterwards none could say why. No voice called out, no commands given. They simply stopped, and the silence pushed them back. To the people of Axum, the meaning was clear. The same power that once levelled cities still waits behind that door. The Ark kept its promise, and those who came against it were forced into retreat. The chapel still remains sealed. The Ark sits in darkness as it has for millennia. The guardian monk will die inside, as countless have before him. Another will take his place. If the church is wrong, Axum guards an empty room. If they're right, then the most dangerous power in human history waits just behind a locked door. All power is balanced. In Europe lies an artifact with the knowledge to summon the devil. Click the card at the end and watch the Devil's Bible. And if you're still here, subscribe, because in the next episode, we follow the trail of a man who never seemed to die, and whose every warning ended in fire, exile, or ruin. I'm Nico, and I'll see you in the next mystery.